This is drone footage of the area just south of where I live. This was taken during the winter, so these are deciduous trees. There were no leaves on the trees, so we get a really good look at where Poplar Brook is in relationship to the homes in this neighborhood. Neighborhood being Finder and Holbrook, Westfield and Melville Streets. We're turning right. We're going to go west now towards Route 35. See the side yard of a house on Holbrook Street, a couple of houses like that. Regular folks, policemen, families with kids in high school. Some have been here a long time, some are new. This is Westville. It doesn't come all the way down. The next street is Melville. This is an important street here. Take a look at this house here. See how close it is to the stream. We're going to look at this in more depth later. Now we're going to turn and go back east towards Playa Park. We'll pass by these houses again, and we'll take a quick look at Findern Street. Findern, the last two blocks of which are really new. New houses, good builders, good people, good neighborhood. No problem with it. But at one time, these were all wooded areas, and all those trees are gone. And there are consequences to taking down so many trees. And that consequence affects the water table and how we live. This is a picture of the last house on Melville Street, on the east side of Melville Street. And if you look at the picture, you see how close this house is to Poplar Brook. You also might note that the tree there is leaning very severely because it's been eroded, and sometime it either will have to be cut down or it will fall. This is a video of the stream right next to the house, last house on Melville. You see the water's very calm now. It's receded quite a bit. You can also tell how high it's been because of the mud on the side of the brook and tracks in the mud. You might catch a glimpse of the house across the street. People lived there, had fixed up the house. But when this proposal was made and they realized the situation they might be in, they sold and left town. Video on the stream. Here's the last house on Melville after a recent rain event. You can see the water there is moving pretty good. I didn't get down close to the stream there because it was too wet, and we're actually right at the very end of the street. And as we pan to the left, you can see that the house is right there. This is a picture of Poplar Brook south of the neighborhood in which I live, along Finder and Holbrook, Melville, Westville, and orient yourself. This is facing east towards Route 35, where the Children of America building is. You notice these trees are in bad shape, but they're deciduous trees, so there's no leaves on them. This picture was taken in the winter. There's a tree in the middle of the stream with its roots sticking up, and it may have fallen naturally, or it may have fallen because its roots were so eroded over the years. You'll also notice that there are trees that are obviously cut. That's because the maintenance department in Ocean Township has to go through Poplar Brook on occasion to fell trees that might be a danger or that could potentially clog up the street. Here's Poplar Brook after about a 20-minute downpour in July. You see the stream is very wide here and the water's flowing very fast. We're going to look for the tree in the middle of the stream to see if he made it through the storm. He's right around the corner here. Yes, he's still there. And we're going to use that tree as a benchmark to measure how much water came through the brook because of this heavy downpour. And I've seen this stream here back up all the way to the maintenance sheds at times over the years. This is a picture of the tree that is in the middle of the stream, Poplar Brook, down near Well Pond Road. Wanted to get an idea of how much water was flowing in the video and that I took earlier. And you see, I just used a simple yardstick. I couldn't get all the way down to the stream, but clearly there was more than 3 feet, probably closer to 4 feet of water at that time. This is a picture of that little tree that I took earlier in the year, in the winter. Deciduous trees, there aren't any leaves on there, but you get an idea of both of the position of the tree, which shows the type of erosion that's happened. I actually don't know how the tree got there. It might have slid out there from the bank, but this is the same tree that was just in the picture with the yardstick. This is a picture of Poplar Brook just east of Whale Pond, almost directly across from the maintenance entrance to Playa Park. The brook is right next to someone's house right here, and this shows the brook pretty much at normal flow. No particularly heavy rain had happened. And you can see that here it is, the embankment's been reinforced, so there's much less erosion here. But the consequence of that is it narrows the brook down and causes much more force. And beyond this, we'll show the consequence of what happens to the trees and damage over the years. Here's Poplar Brook on the other side of Whale Pond Road after that same heavy downpour of about 20 minutes. I think the video pretty much speaks for itself. This is the Poplar Brook area east of Whale Pond. It shows the consequence of years of erosion. And this is typical of the entire area down behind the Chatham and Belmar streets, and behind the shul on Deal Road, all the way down to Monmouth Road. See the trees are down, some of which have been probably cut by the maintenance department, as I alluded to before. But this is a typical picture of Poplar Brook area. This is an overview of the Poplar Village area where 64 units of senior citizen housing used to be. After years of erosion and flooding, Sandy delivered the final coup de grace, and these units were torn down and have been replaced by the building that's behind West Park Avenue. This is a chart that shows the homes on Brookside Avenue that were bought out by Green Acres because of years and years of erosion and flooding, and the coup de grace that was delivered by Sandy. Now, this chart shows the buyout cost for each house plus the taxes they used to pay. Now, those taxes are going to be lost to Ocean Township going forward. There are 7 lots here, and they're not all connected, so it's not like we got a pretty good sized park out of this. They are disjointed, and the price for this is quite high at $2.3+ million. Now, the more important thing is that there are still some 25 homes on Brookside, and they are going to be put in more jeopardy with more water in Poplar Brook. And the fear is that neighborhoods like mine, Melville, Westville, Findern, and Holbrook Street, as well as the people at Chatham, Belmar, and those streets, are going to become Brookside Avenue type situations going forward. Ocean Township is much more vulnerable to a major storm now than it was before Superstorm Sandy. The same storm water management system that chronically failed over the years and failed dramatically during Sandy has not been improved. Not only were thousands of trees lost in Sandy, but thousands more have been lost to continued development. As described by the Army Corps of Engineers, a recurring flooding problem exists along Poplar Brook as a result of restrictive flow characteristics owing to insufficient cross-sectional areas of the channel and several inadequately sized culverts. There are no plans to resolve these issues, and it is unlikely that they will be resolved in the foreseeable future. The culvert that goes under the railroad tracks between Roosevelt and Grant Avenues will likely never be made larger. According to their own experts, the proposed development at the corner of Deal Road and Route 35 will put more water into Poplar Brook. 2 storm drains will be added to Poplar Brook to help manage the additional runoff from the new businesses, restaurants, the extended stay hotel, the 24-hour Wawa convenience and gas station, and 70 townhomes. Some 24 acres will be cleared, and over 4,000 trees will be removed. The water that those trees used to store, used to use, and used to transpire back into the atmosphere has to go somewhere. That somewhere is the surrounding neighborhoods and Poplar Brook. This is not a trivial amount of water. What will be the straw that breaks the camel's back? Additional stormwater runoff will worsen erosion, raise the water table, and put people's homes in jeopardy. Over time, there is clear potential to create more Brookside Avenue-like conditions for homes near Poplar Brook at the end of Finburn, Holbrook, Westville, Melville, Chatham, Ampere, Belmar, Delaware, behind the Temple on Deal Road, and all the way to the railroad tracks between Roosevelt and Grant Avenues. Poplar Village and homes on Brookside Avenue were frequently flooded over the years. Sandy was just the coup de grace. Replacement of the lost 64 Poplar Village units behind the post office on West Park Avenue cost some $8 million, Whether that money was from FEMA or elsewhere, it's still our tax dollars. 7 homes on Brookside Avenue were bought out by Green Acres for about $2.3 million. Ultimately, they were our tax dollars also. To add insult to injury, the town loses almost $48,000 a year in property taxes from those homes. And there are still 25 homes on Brookside Avenue in harm's way. How can this be allowed?